Welcome to UCHEL's for today's media luncheon. Our players are offensive center Aaron Cox, quarterback Bart Williams on the right, and head coach Matt Mitchell in the middle. Grand Valley State is the number 1 seed in Super Region 4. It is the 18th time the Grand Valley State has made the NCAA Division II playoffs. Lakers have a 34-13 all-time record in the NCAA playoffs. Coach, if you can talk about the Wayne State victory, and we'll move on to the bye week.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a very hard-fought battle with Wayne State for a lot of reasons. One, they'd won 7 games in this league. They were undefeated at home heading into this game. Their 3 losses that come against really good clubs in Ashland, Ferris, and Ohio Dominican. All 3 of those losses have been on the road. So they defended their home field. It was also senior day. And, a big matchup of running backs with Marty Carter and Romello Brown. So, it was going to be a tough game heading in. I thought in the first half we did a good job. Kind of settling in on the defensive side of the ball, not giving up really any explosive plays except for the one post that we gave up for a touchdown. And then we were able to grind out a couple scoring drives. Obviously, the run by Martavius, the big touchdown run was huge, and Nick Dotson made a great catch. So went to the locker room feeling good. Great possession to start the second half offensively. We get a decent kickoff return by John Mark Anderson. We get the run by Martavius Carter, and then Bart throws to Nick Dotson for the touchdown. It was 21-7, and that's probably when things got a little bit frustrating for us. We were in a similar situation 2 weeks ago with Saginaw Valley State. We're up 21-7. That's the point in time where you've got to come up with that big stop or come up with that next score and continue to extend the lead, and we weren't really able to do that. We had a lot of adversity, specifically in the fourth quarter, and they tied it up. They tied it up on us 21-21, but some of our earlier season experiences probably helped us at that point. I think about our road game at Ohio Dominican, the home game against Findlay, and then Saginaw Valley. We never flinched. Coaches didn't flinch. Players didn't flinch. We hit the really big post ball to Erston Smith, which was huge. Great throw and great catch. And, thought we potentially had a touchdown on 1 or 2 tries down the end zone. We didn't get those calls, and so then we lined up for the field goal, and, Skipper bangs the thing through, and then we're able to, get the key stop on the last possession and really get after the quarterback. So it was a hard-fought game. I think when you look at it, the thing I'm probably the happiest about, besides all the grit and the chemistry and the fight and our team sticking together, was we didn't turn the ball over. We had no fumbles. The ball was never on the ground. Bart did a great job taking care of the football and managing our team, and we were able to force some turnovers on down, and we're also able to get a key fumble when they were kind of in the red zone, and we were able to force it. So we were +4 in terms of getting 2 forced down stops and an interception and a fumble, which was really key, and that was probably the stat of the game, was the turnover margin. So, I thought it was a big day, for us stopping Romello Brown. I thought that was really huge, and that was not something I really pointed to as a head coach, but I know I was in the back of our minds of our players. I think a lot of us were pulling for Martavius to get the rushing record, and by the performance of our offense and Marty, and also by the performance of our defense kind of holding Romello Brown, we were able to do that and get him the not only the GLIAC regular season rushing title, but also got him the national rushing title too. So big game, big win. A lot of mention of this, only the 8th time in the 45-year history of Grand Valley football that a team has gone undefeated. I think it's an accomplishment. Take a look at the landscape of college football. It's extremely hard to go undefeated. And I would also put the caveat, take a look at our strength of schedule. This wasn't 11-0 with a 103rd ranked strength of schedule. I think we ended up, I haven't taken a look at it here on a Monday, but we're probably in the top 20 in terms of strength of schedule. So not only did we go undefeated, we did it with a very arduous schedule and a really tough league. And so that was an accomplishment for our players. And, they're rewarded for it. We were rewarded by the NCAA yesterday in the selection show with a bye in the first round. That has a lot of benefits. Obviously, one of the benefits is we're going to advance next week in the playoffs without playing a game. So it's like we won without playing. There's 28 teams selected, and after next Saturday, we'll be 1 of 16. So that's what we talk about all the time in our program. And if you're familiar with Grand Valley football, we're 1 of 16 right now. It also, gives us an opportunity this week to focus on Grand Valley and don't have to worry about an opponent. So we'll spend this week smartly. We'll get after it a couple days in practice. There's things that we need to improve upon. We need to get better, and it'll also allow us to get some guys rested up and healed up, and hopefully get some guys that have missed some games here back for the playoffs. And then allow us to do a little bit of recruiting too, and then we'll find out who wins the matchup of Texas A&M Commerce and Colorado Mesa. We'll figure that out, and we'll get to work. And we'll fight and scratch and claw in our preparation and try to give ourselves every advantage that we can head into that contest, and try to go from being 1-16 to 1-8. I'm very excited that we're having a playoff game at Lubber Stadium. We had a lot of success with our home playoff games back in 2013. Unfortunately, in 2015, we weren't able to reward our fans with any playoff games at home, but we're back at home. And we're not looking at the bracket. We're not looking at the other teams in our region that are getting in. We don't care about any of that. We care about GV, and we'll find out who our opponent is, and we're just glad to be playing at Lubbers and with an opportunity to keep playing. This is a special group of players, and I know they want to try to keep extending their season, and we'll just try to take a shot at that on Thanksgiving weekend and really encourage all the fans come out. And it's tough with Thanksgiving, but students and everybody come out and support us. It's been a huge advantage for us in 2016, home field advantage. So that's the schedule for the week, and we'll find out who we play next Saturday night.
Coach, if you would, let's talk about all three of you, too. I'd like you all three to answer this, but what makes Marty Carter special and able to do what he did, which was win the GLIAC rushing title?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. Marty's extremely fast. We're fortunate here at Grand Valley. We have this player tracking system, Catapult player tracking system, and so it gives us a lot of metrics on players. And we've been charting his top end velocity, like on a lot of his high end runs. You can see how fast he's going, and he's up over 20 miles per hour on some of his high end runs. And you should, again, take a look at some guys at higher levels of football and look at their top end velocities. I mean, he's right there with that. Great change of direction, and I think the thing that you saw a little bit on Saturday on his touchdown run, he has some strength and power too. He bounced off a couple tackles. So everybody on our team knows, and I think the opposition knows, if you get him clean into the second level of defense, it's hard to get him tackled. You've got speed, you've got change of direction, you've also got some power. And it's very difficult. So that's why he's been able to set this rushing mark. I think our offensive line and tight ends have done a great job of getting him clean to the second level, and then he's made some people miss, maybe more so, and run some people over for that matter too. More so than maybe some of our backs here in the past, dozen years. It's been a while, maybe thinking back to Jimmy Brezic, since we've had that combination of both speed and power in the backfield at Grand Valley State. And I also think it's been really critical too that what's allowed him to get this rushing record, which goes understated, is our passing attack too. We are very competent. Obviously, anybody who followed us last year, that was a strength last year. We're really competent in the passing game when you have our quarterback, when Bart is throwing it around, and the weapons we have outside. It makes us difficult to defend. And so you don't have teams, Greg, that can overly commit to just stopping the run. Because I think we've shown we can throw the ball over their head. We did that Saturday, and throw the ball on the outside to guys in one-on-one matchups. So I think Marty would be the first one to admit, if he was up here too, our passing game and the people that we have around him, not just O-line tight ends, but the quarterback and wideouts, have allowed him to achieve this record also. And it's a balance of our offense in general and what they're able to do. So I'll throw it over to Aaron, and then Bart will weigh in on it too.
Yeah, like Coach touched on, we're a balanced offense. Bart Williams is a great quarterback, and it's kind of hard to game plan for both him and Marty. And like Coach said, when Marty gets to the second and third level, it's it's kind of a cat and mouse game. You got to catch them. So up front, we just try and get them to the second level and third level. We just try to do our job the best of our ability, because we know we can make a big play out of it. And Marty loves running behind us, so that's what makes it a lot of fun.
And Coach Mitchell and Aaron Cox, they both hit it on the head. I would just say he plays hard, plays really hard every down. He cares about playing for his teammates, and he's just really fast. And I think when he gets in the second level, his elusiveness, but also if you're trying to tackle him, you don't know if he's going to try to juke you out or run you over. And I think it keeps the defenders on their toes. And you better pursue him. You better pursue him hard, because like you saw that big run that he had in the first quarter. Everybody thought he was down, and he just kept turning his legs, stayed on his feet, and then he used his speed. So that play just was a direct example of just the variety of skills that he has as a running back. And I think it just comes back to playing hard, playing for your teammates, and he's very competitive and just wants to get the job done for the team.
If you could, just one little follow-up on him. Address his personality. He's a little quiet and humble with us, but around you guys, I notice there's a lot of chatter going on and a lot of laughter.
Yeah, I'll let the players weigh in on trying to define Marty's personality, trying to sum it up.
I guess you never know what you're going to get, but more times than not, it's entertaining, very entertaining to be around him. Just his point of view, and you just have no idea what he's going to say. Sometimes you'll catch him just saying something, and you just have no idea how that even popped into his head. And he's just always trying to be funny, and with everybody on the team. He does a great job interacting with everybody, and he's just a great personality to have. But like I said, with how talented he is, he's definitely a team player. He loves everybody on the team, I would say, and he just likes getting it done and interacting with everybody else on the team.
Yeah, Bart hit it right on that. The guy's hilarious. I mean, he always makes everyone smile in the locker room. You don't even have to understand what he's saying, but if he's laughing and going off about something, you're laughing because it's Marty.
Matt, going into a postseason run, most coaches would fall into one of two camps. They either say we have to keep doing what we've been doing and execute better at what we know, or they might think we've got to change in some ways because people have seen us. There's a lot of tape. Everybody knows about Grand Valley. Where would you say you fall on that continuum? And with the 2 weeks between games here, how much is it really possible to change, to go in a much different direction if you were choosing to go that way?
Yeah, I think if I had to lean one way, we do what we do. We believe in what we believe in, and we kind of do what we do. And I think that for us, it's not about talent. A lot of people make it out to be about talent. It's more about execution and the details and the little things that occur. And we're always going to lean towards the pursuit of perfection, trying to be perfect, everything from a technical standpoint, from calling a game. Like, I had a really bad call at the end of the first half, and just trying to find that extra inch, and realize that we've made progress, but we're not there yet. That's kind of what our program's all about. So we probably lean a little bit more that way. I think that, we tweak things, a little bit week to week, but they're not massive diversions from what we do, And so, I think for us, like I've looked at the last 2 or 3 ball games. There's some things that we have not done well. We have not played up to our internal set of expectations. And obviously 11-0 is great, but I still think there's some room for growth and room for improvement. And we've always had that attitude at Grand Valley that we can get better. And I anticipate we got a team meeting today. We'll go in there and talk about the plan for the week. We're not going to. We're not going to beat each other up this week, but we're going to go out and practice. We're going to have camp practices. We're going to go against each other, and we're going to get better. There's things that we can get better at and things that we can clean up. And that's why I talked to our staff. We had a staff meeting this morning. We've got a little bit of a time here to take a look at the cut-ups, take a look at some of the tape. What are the things that we are doing well? And, what can we do to complement those things we're doing well? What's something we're not doing well? And if we're not doing it well, do we want to invest time on that, or do we want to, get away from that and try to look someplace else to spend our resources? So we're not just kind of heading into this thing with our feet up on the desk. I think we're going to take a hard look at the tape here. It provides us an opportunity to not scout an opposition this week. It provides us an opportunity to self-scout, and that self-scout will be really important for our coaches and also important for our players to kind of look internally at things that we can get better on. And if we are of the opinion if we can control, we can control. We can't control our opposition or officiating or anything else like that. We can control, we control. This is a good week to kind of reinforce that point.
And all three of you guys, just a big thing you guys talked about after the Wayne State game was team chemistry. Can you just speak to how that's contributed to an 11-0 season and just how important that is to have that team chemistry heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, well, first of all, I've always said this: winning helps chemistry. So to go 11-0 certainly helps the chemistry. But I do think even last year when we were 9-2, I thought we had great chemistry within our building. Even the 6-5 season, I thought we had good chemistry in the building, and that's important to me as a head coach, and it's something that we work on starting in January. It's very critical when you're dealing with offense and defense being separated. They're separated a lot in the game planning process. They're separated in the games. You have to work hard to overcome that barrier, and I think that's something that's very unique about this team. Obviously, the guys on offense are tight, the guys on defense are tight, but I do think across, the row, so to speak, we have a lot of great relationships between offense and defensive players and upperclassmen and underclassmen, and that's something our guys have worked hard to develop those relationships, and I do think that helps. We don't have any finger pointing when things aren't going good. We're able to, stick with each other because we know the level of investment that everybody has, especially the top 60 guys are kind of playing the level of investment they have. So I'll let Aaron again talk first, then Bart.
Yeah, we all trust each other. That's the biggest thing that I think that we've gotten out of this is we know our defense is going to make a stop when we need to stop, and I think they trust us to get the score when we need to score. Even when things aren't looking our way, we still stay calm and collected. We just know what we got to do, and we know eventually it's gonna work. So we believe in one another, and we believe in the coaches.
I think a lot of it goes back to, the saying we have in our building, you can control what you can control. So when you're on the offensive side of the ball and, we can't control if our defense is playing well or not. And, if something bad happens to them, they come off the field. It's not our job to point fingers at them and tell them they didn't do the job. All we can control is going on the field and getting a score. So I think that comes with a lot of confidence on both sides of the ball in each other. And we don't rely on the defense to win us the games, and I don't think the defense relies on us, on us to win the games. I think, both of us, we want to go out and win the games ourselves, and like you said, control what we can control.
And then in last year's playoffs, you guys didn't have the benefit of a bye week, didn't have the benefit of home field advantage. Could you guys just talk about what last year's experience, just having been there before to the playoffs, how that's going to contribute to this year's playoffs?
Well, the number one thing when you get in a single elimination tournament is the realization you win or go home. I mean, competitive greatness. Some of our administrators have talked about that, coming up with your best performances when it's needed most. I mean, that's what a single elimination tournament's all about. This isn't a 5-game series in baseball or any other sport. It's win or go home. So, that obviously got illustrated last year on both sides of the coin. We had some win or go home scenarios. We were able to make more plays and win, and then obviously we had an opportunity in West Virginia, and we didn't do that. We didn't take care of business out there. So just because we're at home, just because we have a bye, those don't guarantee anything. I think our guys are smart enough to understand that. Can they potentially be advantages? Sure, potentially. But you still got to go out there at 1 o'clock on the 26th, and we've got to play. And if we don't play, then we're going to pack up our stuff and we'll tell a senior class goodbye. So that's a harsh reality of this. And, I'd rather head into that with a team that did it last year, played in some of those situations where either you win or you're done. And that's what this team's got, but veteran guys that have been there. So they'll understand it's about the preparation and everything. Ultimately, when you get out there for that 3 hours, you got to make plays. You don't make plays, you're going to go home. So that's the biggest lesson learned from 2015 is the nature of this tournament.
You just finished a grueling stretch of games against league teams that you know really well and they know you really well. Are you looking forward to playing a team maybe you don't know a whole lot about?
I am. I've always, my time here at Grand Valley, it's always, it's been fun as a coach, and I think it's fun for our program and our fans and everybody to play somebody, you're not used to. I think, as a coach, as you said, when you play conference schools, you kind of know what you're going to get before you turn on the tape. The fact of the matter is, and I won't look at a single thing of tape until I figure out who we're playing. It's kind of a waste of time to look at both of them, so I won't do it. But we'll get the tape in this week. Our GAs will start breaking it down, but it's going to be exciting to click on some tape of Texas A&M Commerce or Mesa and kind of see what they're about. Take a look at some new players, take a look at some new schemes, some new plays, and I think our players, probably feel that same way too. You go 11-0 in the season, a lot of the teams, a lot of oppositions. It's kind of fun to see how you measure up against some people from some other parts of the nation. Obviously dealing with somebody from Texas and Colorado, and we'll kind of see what they're about and go down that road. But, I do. Be honest with you, I do. I like playing new teams and doing different things and having new experiences, and I think our players kind of enjoy that too, coming in and popping on some tape with some new people.
Okay, with that, Grand Valley State's 11-win regular season marked the 13th time in program history that's happened and the 12th time since 2001. Grand Valley State will host either Texas A&M Commerce or Mesa State, or Colorado Mesa rather, on November 26th at home, and that'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff. So Thanks, guys.
Thank you.